There's a passage in Philippians 4:13 that I think most of us are familiar with, but I'm not sure that we're all bought into the truth of it fully. And it simply says this: I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Well, that's a pretty big promise, isn't it? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. God does not set limitations upon us for the things that he wants us to accomplish. But it's the through Christ, I believe, that we need to really focus upon in that passage. Because if we truly are living a life for Christ, and we're trying to do his will to the very best of our ability, and we're praying for wisdom that God will help us to see what he wants us to do, we can do all those things. God will not limit us in anything that he wants us to do as long as we're living according to his will. In short, if we'll just have a little faith in ourselves and complete faith in God, we can accomplish anything that God wants us to accomplish. Now, this doesn't mean that obviously he's going to allow us to sin and have him help us in that sin. If your desire in life is just to be with as many beautiful women as you can, or as many handsome men as you can, don't expect God to help you with that. As a matter of fact, you can probably hope that he will thwart you in that. If your hope is just to be fabulously wealthy so that you can indulge every whim that you might have and engage in every desire that you might have, don't expect God to be helping you with that. That is not what that passage means. When we are promised that we can do all things through him, Christ, who strengthens us, the promise is for those who are trying to do God's will to the best of their ability and according to what we find in the Bible, to the standards that we have. But if we'll do that, we're going to be able to accomplish a lot. And it's so important for us to understand that the sooner we do, the younger age we understand that, the better life is going to be. That means if God wants you to marry that beautiful woman, if you're a man, or that handsome man, if you're a woman, whatever your ideal is for the people that you meet, he's going to help you with that. And if he wants you to be a professional ball player, he's going to help you be a professional ball player. It's going to mean massive work on your part. But if you're willing to do your part, God will do his. If he decides that that person is the best person for you to be with, if he wants you to be with anybody through life, and if he decides that career in the NBA is what's going to achieve his will to the very best, he'll let you do that. He'll give you the skill, he'll give you the talent, he'll give you the opportunities. But we don't need to force it. And by that, I mean we don't need to be thinking that God will just do anything that we want him to do. I think a lot of people, when they look at promises like that, they're mistakenly taking it for being granted 3 wishes. God is not a genie in a magic bottle. God is the creator of the universe, the ruler of the universe. And he has a plan for us. And he does want us to accomplish great things. But we have to do it according to his will. And again, we just need a little faith in ourselves, I believe, to begin that walk of life before him and complete faith in him. Now, as we do this, I believe it's going to take a lot of the pressure off. So many people are worried about having enough to eat or having a roof over their head or having enough health to be able to accomplish things. Understand this: God will give you whatever you need as far as the opportunity to eat and to have a roof over your head. He's probably going to give you the opportunity to work hard in order to achieve those things, but there it is. He's going to give that to you. And as far as health goes, he's not going to allow you to indulge in being a drunkard or a glutton, but he will allow you to have those things and the wisdom to be able to do the things that will allow you to have good health, or at least whatever measure of health you need to do his will to the best of your ability, for whatever it is that he wants you to accomplish. Think about this. He took David, a shepherd boy, from the obscurity of the sheep pens, and he made him king of one of the mightiest nations in the history of the world. How do you go from being a shepherd to a king? And the answer is, if you have a little faith in yourself and complete faith in God, you can accomplish anything that God wants you to accomplish. This is what I believe we need to be focusing upon as we go through this life. As to the really neat things in life, maybe the very reason that you are watching this far into this video, he really will help us accomplish our dreams and our goals, as long as our dreams and our goals are consistent with his will. And so if it's his will for you to marry that person, he'll help you do that. If it's his will for you to have whatever career you want to have, you'll have the opportunity to do that as well. But don't expect him to assist you in indulging selfish, sinful activities. And also understand that he can see farther down the road than you can. And he's not going to give you something that would be self-destructive, even if you think it'd be the best thing in the world for you. And he's not going to give you anything that's going to be destructive to other people, even if you don't recognize that it would be. But as far as him helping you to accomplish the things he wants you to accomplish, well, the sky's the limit for that. And so now you can, since you know that he's going to help you with the physical necessities, and since you know that he's not going to help you in a sinful direction, now you can concentrate your life on serving him to the best of your ability, going in the direction that he wants you to the best of your ability, as you've studied his word and have sought out his guidance through prayer, and then you're trying to make that happen. I think the life you're going to have will be incredible. I think the opportunities that he's going to give you and that he will assist you in will surprise you. I think the heights which you can reach in this life, not for your own glory, but for God's glory, are going to be surprising to you and others when you have a little faith in yourself and complete faith in God. The eternity that you will have awaiting for you is beyond any dream or goal you could possibly have for this temporary time we have here on earth. And the joy that he's set before us is incredible. We just have to trust in him. We just have to put our lives in his hands. We do need to try and figure out to the best of our ability what he wants us to do, and then pray for him to show us if this is the right thing or not. I realize this is going to lead to great disappointments at times. You might not be destined in God's eyes to marry that equivalent of Angelina Jolie if you're a guy, or that equivalent of Brad Pitt if you're a girl. But he may have something far better planned for you. And he may not have a career in the NBA waiting for you. He may see that that wouldn't be good for you or for his kingdom in the big picture. But what he does have for you, what he will assist you in, what he will broaden the path for you in, or at least make the path easier for, is the things that he wants you to do, the people he wants you to be with. And so once we get past the temporary disappointments in life, when we realize that his will is not always what we want, but that we should always try and do our best to always want what his will is, then the possibilities are endless, and life becomes really good. As a matter of fact, it becomes a wonderful life. There's a passage that's found in Matthew, the 17th chapter, in verse 20. And it will help us to understand, I believe, the possibilities that God really has set before us. It involves a time where Jesus' disciples were coming to him. They were discouraged because something that they were convinced was his will just wasn't coming to pass. And they wondered why it wasn't working out. And Jesus pointed out to them, it's because you don't have any faith. And then he said this, Matthew chapter 17 and verse 20. I tell you the truth, if you have faith as small as a mustard seed, you can say to this mountain, move from here to there, and it will move. Nothing will be impossible for you. Well, I realize the cynics are going to be very quick to say, well, I've never seen a mountain moved, and you're missing the point. What Christ is saying is that there is nothing too big for God to accomplish through you if it is His will for it to be done, and if you're willing to do your part and have enough faith to do it. Nothing will be impossible for you. That means that family member, that close friend, that person that you may have just met that you realize might be in danger of being outside of Christ, that God will give you the opportunity to bring the good news to them. He's not going to force them to accept it, but if He gives you the opportunity, you can be convinced it's going to be the very best opportunity. And make no mistake about this, you are somebody's best hope to have the good news brought to them. So bring them that good news. Help them to see what Christ has done for them and try to convince them to turn their life over to Christ. Many will not, but some will, and it'll change their life. And there's a million other things, maybe not as monumental as changing somebody's spiritual life and spiritual path, but there's a million things God will allow you to accomplish that I believe you'll find satisfying and enjoyable. It's a good life when we do it God's way. All we need is a little faith in ourselves and complete faith in God. Appreciate your listening today. I hope we'll see you tomorrow. God bless.